All right, guys, this is the most important news of the day here. Liver King is being sued by who? Me. You're done, Liver King. I'm just kidding. This is called the Liver King's massive $100 million lawsuit by Spencer Cornelia.
Industry is full of influencers.
Whoa.
The fitness industry is full of influencers marketing how natural they are and how they most definitely aren't on steroids.
True. It's completely normal, and it's a little bit bizarre, and it's dishonest, and it's crazy. And you really can't necessarily prove them wrong because you could cheese drug tests. A lot of major athletes are definitely on stuff. People tell you otherwise. They just don't know. But in order to be like super competitive, pretty much every major athlete is on something. Just because they may not look huge doesn't mean that they're not on some kind of like recovery drug that'll help them recover faster. So they're on some anabolic.
This has finally led to a lawsuit. The Liver King was one of the fastest rising stars on social media in late 2021. In just 1 year, he had millions of people following his mantra that liver is king.
It's the Liver King because liver is king.
And that they should be following the 9 ancestral tenets in order to live the healthiest lifestyle. What happens if all of it was a lie? On January 28, 2023, Christopher Altamare sued Brian Johnson, aka Liver King, and his company's Ancestral Supplements LLC and the Fittest Ever LLC in the state of New York. The Liver King's message was positive, and his intentions were to inspire young adults to live a healthier lifestyle. You would think he'd be immune to controversy, but then this happened. Derek, with More Plates, More Dates, released an exposed video detailing how much steroids liver...
To be honest with you, because it was obvious he was on steroids. The problem is that some people don't understand that, and so they got duped. Yeah, this is a rough weapon for this. I think that honestly, from a legal perspective, I'm surprised he even admitted that he was on gear. Like, I actually am genuinely surprised about that. Because he probably, like, not that he should have, but he probably should have just kept lying to people. You know, you should never lie, folks. But, you know, from a legal perspective, I'm surprised he admitted it. Honestly, it was just surprising to me. You know, especially considering this. I wonder if he can actually like lose the lawsuit, because I mean, he's selling the idea, or was trying to sell the idea, that you can get big like him, natural, but you can't. So, you know, he sold his supplements. He probably was trying to have an inspiring message, but he was also trying to monetize it. Then again, it's so normalized, he probably didn't care. That's kind of the problem with the whole sphere, you know?
Liver King was taking in the video popped off.
From Empower Pharmacy, $11,000 per month for my new dose, which is
crazy.
4 vials per week, 16 vials per month.
That's
over
nuts.
$10,000 a month on steroids. That's the equivalent of a
juice back in the day. They still do today.
Mortgage on a mansion. That's the equivalent of payments on 3 different Lamborghinis, all on steroids to enhance the body to Herculean proportions. Despite many people knowing from the start that Liver King was juiced out of his mind, this video still seemed to have the scandalous expose feel that something was revealed that very few knew about. Liver King released an apology video that didn't land well with his audience or YouTube at large, and it felt like his career had experienced an insurmountable setback. Here we are a couple months later, and Liver King has been hit with a massive class action lawsuit. Defendant Liver King fashioned a cult-like, extreme, and implausible regimented lifestyle referred to as the 9 ancestral tenets, which he then convinced consumers, whom he eventually referred to as primals, to adopt and maintain. Liver King was certainly influential in getting people into believing that this lifestyle was healthier than the one they were currently living, but the plaintiff's attorney is arguing that his claims were harmful. Defendants, knowing full well that consumer adherence to the ancestral tenets was unsustainable, specifically the EAT tenet, which entails a dangerous and life-threatening diet requiring the consumption of raw meat, cleverly designed a 2-part scheme to initially generate traffic to Liver King's website.
My understanding, too, is that like he did this raw meat thing, but then he's like, this is what somebody, and I don't know how true it is, but it was interesting. He does this whole raw meat thing, right? Obviously, eat raw meat, but then he sells supplements that are supposed to mimic the effect of eating the raw meat, with just like the nutrient wise, because he talks about how there's so much nutrients. And so like the idea is like, oh, you're not going to eat it like raw liver, so instead you'll go and you'll buy his supplements. It's like this whole kind of like marketing strategy there.
Liver King owns many businesses. A few of them are tied to his brand, acting as the back-end products that consumers may want to purchase after showing interest in living a similar lifestyle to Liver King.
Ancestral tenets, right? The financial transaction takes place when you buy the supplements from Ancestral Supplements or from Heart and Soil or from thefittest.com.
Ancestral Supplements LLC has its own website as seen here at ancestralsupplements.com. The Fittest LLC has its own website as well as seen at thefittest.com. Liver King's funnel was pretty simple. Attract as many eyeballs on social media with his attention-getting persona and content, influence people to gain an interest in living his ancestral lifestyle, and then promote his products to those same consumers. Liver King has appeared on many of the most popular podcasts on YouTube, including Impulsive, Full Send Podcast, Bertcast, Pardon My Take, and The Fighter and the Kid.
Damn, he didn't even say H3, but then played a clip of H3 right after, dude. That's disrespectful, bro. Damn.
King mentioned his goal of gaining 1 million followers by March 2022 to generate more revenue for his numerous supplement companies. The main factor in Liver King being able to reach his goals on social media was his appearance and unique sales pitch.
A spit bucket if you can't do it.
Oh my God, Liver.
But at least you listen, you got testicle in your mouth. You done it.
That was not a great experience.
Any form of media, social media, traditional media, print media, TV, advertising, will tend to popularize the extremes, which works in favor of someone walking into public businesses with his shirt off and veins popping out.
Right? I mean,
he doesn't really eat anything that you're,
all of my food comes from Liver King Ranch or White Oak Pastures.
It wasn't that long ago in human history that a circus went around the country with acts dedicated to weird and unique bodies.
True. And nowadays, it's just people with PCOS and different diseases or different other shit. Like, back in the day, it was like this whole fucking cope. How crazy is that, dude? Like, back in the day, people that just like, bearded ladies, that's just some fucking woman with PCOS, bro. And we fucking made a spectacle out of that. How crazy, man. That's just fucking nuts.
Liver King certainly was a circus act as he traveled the country sharing his message that liver is king with his shirt off. This lawsuit has me thinking that there needs to be an alternative to college so we can learn things that aren't taught in the traditional education system, which has led 45 million Americans to still be in debt. That's why I'm happy to be working with today's sponsor, Course Careers. Course Careers gives normal people like you and me the opportunity to start a career in the booming technology industry in as little as 6 weeks, faster than the average college degree by taking out the useless subjects colleges force you to undertake, focusing only on what you need to do the job and do the job well. With their online courses in technology sales, information technology, or digital marketing,
Okay, interesting, Ed. I mean, I like the fundamentals of something that cuts some of the fat out because I feel like sometimes they overburden us with shit that we don't necessarily need.
Topics taught in their lesson are wrong.
As long as it's accredited and actually will help you get a job, there's nothing wrong with something like that. So,
paying technology career today without the crippling student debt that comes with college. For those wanting to sign up for their complete course, head over to CourseCareers.com or click the link down in the description below and use my code Spencer50 to take a further $50 off their already low cost. Back to the video. Upon information and belief, defendant Liver King has owned and operated companies within the global dietary supplements market for approximately 20 years.
So in 2016, we started this. By 2017, we did $7 million just with one company.
How?
The defendants began by creating the Liver King, a character played by Defendant Johnson that claims to live solely on an ancestral diet consisting of raw meat, most notably liver, and strictly adheres to a Neanderthal-like lifestyle. I love lawsuits because of discovery and getting to find out the truth in matters involving influencers and celebrities. In this case, I'd love to find out if Liver King was 100% following his alleged diet of raw meat and what he posts on social media. The only exposed video that I think would catch me by surprise would be a behind-the-scenes video of a bitter fired employee videotaping Liver King eating Little Caesars pizza and ice cream. Millions of consumers relied on defendant Liver King's representations and adopted the EAT tenet by incorporating raw meat and other organs into their daily diet. I have to give some pushback here. At some point, there needs to be personal responsibility on the consumer. To my knowledge, Liver King never forced anyone to eat raw meat. Also, I'd love to see them prove that millions of people incorporated raw meat into their daily diet. That strikes.
Yeah, I doubt that they actually. Oh, I died. That's so sad. Yeah, I doubt that they actually did and do that into their diet, but still, I think it's fucked up. But yeah, there is still personal responsibility. I think that the problem is, I don't know. I guess the only people, I don't know. I wonder how many people bought into the Liver King thing because they just thought it was kind of cool, and how many people bought into it because they genuinely thought that if they ate fucking raw meat, that they would actually turn into a fucking Olympic god like the game I'm playing. Most people probably weren't that fucking unhinged about it, but I'm sure some people were a little kooky about it. You never know.
Strikes me as a dishonest claim by the attorney. Defendants knew that by persuading consumers to first follow the ancestral tenets, they could eventually induce consumers into purchasing the products from the other corporate defendants in order to abide by the EAT tenet. Liver King had a misleading marketing scheme, for sure, but I never found an example of him making any promises from using his products or telling his followers that they could only be healthy by consuming his supplements. The Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics refers to the liver as nature's multivitamin because it is extremely nutritious. In fact, given how nutrient-dense liver is, the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics recommends that certain groups of people add it to their diet to help them meet their micronutrient needs if they are unable to meet them through their regular diet or if their ability to absorb nutrition is impaired. If you read the lawsuit, you'd think the plaintiff was forced to consume poison after watching a video on social media. Defendants knew that it was impossible for consumers to comply with the EAT tenet, and that once consumers were under defendant Liver King's spell, they would have no choice but to purchase products. This might have been my favorite paragraph, as I've never heard consumers getting under a spell.
Yeah, that's a little disproportionate. It's like they're claiming that Liver King fucking groomed them. It's like, okay, relax a little bit. All right. I don't know. Like, me personally, I don't really care if he wins or loses the lawsuit. I don't think it's right to lie to people, guys. Hot take. I know I'm such a good person, but I don't think that we have to go like that far to we don't have to go that fucking far. Yeah.
From an influencer before. This poor plaintiff certainly was not following the 10th ancestral tenet, which was to not idolize random people on YouTube videos. I would love to know if the lawyer wrote that his client was under a spell, or if the client walked him through the experience of watching Liver King's content and being under such a spell that he drove to the store and bought the products. Which defendants advertise as the equivalent and/or alternative to eating raw meat, allowing consumers to maintain conformity with the ancestral tenets, specifically the EAT tenet. This is the main argument of the complaint. This guy Liver King presented himself with his masculine physique and marketed the idea that you could obtain his physique if you ate his diet, but of course you don't want to eat raw meat, so you buy his supplement products instead to get the same effect.
Doesn't summon
that.
I guess the real question is, are supplements like bad? Are they harmful? Are they dangerous? Or is it just that like he sells supplements? You know what I mean? I feel like that's a good question too. Because he's not forcing anybody into anything, you know? But still, I think it's so shitty that there's such a normalized, it's so normalized in the fitness industry to lie to people and tell you that like, for people to say that they're not actually on gear. You know, Michael Hearn's not natty, guys. Michael Hearn's not natty. Michael Hearn is not natty. Okay, that's all I have to say. Michael Hearn's not natty. He told me himself. Just kidding. That's a joke. Don't sue me, Michael Hearn. But you're not natty. Okay.
Is that it's the same thing?
Yeah.
The only difference is the moisture's taken out of that.
But couldn't you say the same about GMO? It's just because it's not as like obviously accessible.
One of Liver King's 9 tenets, the EAT tenet, is believed to consist of only raw meat, liver, and any edible part of an animal. The foods we evolved with for more than 2 million years are the same foods that we still expect today to heal and be healthy. Drop the processed foods, the seed oils, and the liquid calories and start incorporating whole foods, liver, bone marrow, heart, and bone soups into your primal fare to express the best version of you. The complaint is stated—
It's not really bad advice, though. I mean, like, it's not a huge hot take, but we have so many shitty processed foods that are so bad for us. So, like, it's really not that... it's not exactly bad advice to say don't eat processed foods, you know? It's actually good advice.
That Liver King heavily influenced people into nearly killing themselves by eating raw meat. Unfortunately, they didn't present any exhibits to back their claims. On his official Liver King website, he has an FAQ section where he answers the question, what do you eat in a day? Eggs, protein shake with water, Greek yogurt, maple syrup, almond butter, raw liver, bone marrow, fresh raw milk, and meal 3 is full-fat cooked red meat, some type of raw meat, an avocado, and if earned, a pile of sweet potatoes. Let me ask you...
There's no shot there's raw meat in the pill. Well, no, there's... Okay. No, of course there's no raw meat in the pill. There's either one or two things in the pill. One, most likely just whatever like nutrient he claims is in there. So if like liver has a lot of vitamin cum in it, I don't know, vitamin C, I don't know what's in liver, then they would just have like that amount of vitamin C in it or something like that. Or they might just quite literally dehydrate the raw liver, which just becomes dehydrated liver, and then like grind it down into that. I don't know which one it would be, but or replace Hard Strike.
Is someone better off consuming his diet or the average American diet that's led to a 50% plus obesity rate in America?
No, I'm not
information
fat.
And belief, a large portion of consumers who relied on defendants' misrepresentations and consumed raw meat and other organs suffered severe and other foodborne illnesses. This is a pretty bold claim that they should be able to prove in discovery. However, I think it's a major bluff. I emailed the law firm representing the plaintiff asking if they have proof of any health problems from the alleged victims in this situation and haven't heard back yet. Liver King has millions of followers across his social media content, and Liver King claims his companies gross upwards of $100 million in sales.
People want to know, how do you go from 0 to 6 million followers overnight? How do you create businesses, 3 businesses that make over $100 million? Listen, you don't wake up one day and express value to the outside world. Again, this is something that you build every day.
The complaint alleging a large portion of consumers would indicate there are hundreds of thousands of people that are about to die from consuming this diet. Consider me skeptical. The plaintiff claims that he and all of the other class members wouldn't have bought these products had they known about Liver King's steroid use.
PEDs and steroids, right? And then, you know, same question, same answer. I didn't touch the stuff, don't touch the stuff, right? And then I think the haters, okay, this got old. So
if his supplements contain what is marketed and sold, and they are healthy in the sense that they contain the necessary vitamins and minerals essential to good health, then I don't see how there were any damages in this case. I'm guessing his claim will be that he wouldn't have even bought the supplements had he known Liver King was on steroids, but that seems like such a weak argument.
A lot of people accuse you of taking steroids, from Joe Rogan up, which I'm glad you're going to go on a show to confront that, and Hassan, I hate to out you, he thinks you take steroids, and he's a gym rat. I'm not. I don't know.
I have no problem with steroids, for the record.
No, I know, but
let's be clear about this. Liver King lying about his steroid use is the worst part about all this.
Yeah, I do
think he utilized his physique to increase his brand exposure, which would naturally sell more products. And of course, people did probably buy products based on the fact that they believed he was steroid free.
Primal or subprimal? Steroids, primal or subprimal?
Subprimal.
Wait, why? I like steroids.
I'm not sure of an exact law surrounding his denial of steroid use and the impact it has on this case, but a major reason why I strongly dislike the fitness industry is I think it's full of fake natties. If you influence your audience into believing they'll improve their appearance and look like you from buying your supplements, and you lie about your steroid use...
Guys, if you buy my supplements, you will look just like me. My supplements are McDonald's, okay? It's fucking, all you have to do is eat that 3 times a day for every meal on top of normal meals, and you will look just like me. Papa Gut McDonald. Okay? I'm fucking promising you right now. I'm promising you. You'll have all the same health effects that I have. I didn't say they're benefits, but you'll have them. You'll have something. You'll have something. You'll have a shorter life. Okay? And a fucking eating disorder, I guess. I don't know if it's technically an eating disorder, but I don't know. Maybe it should be.
That makes you a fraud. Consequently, plaintiff Altamir and class members reasonably relied to their detriment on defendants' false, deceptive, and misleading representations and omissions when purchasing the products. This is the first time I've seen a case involving a fitness influencer lying about their steroid use to sell supplements and getting sued for it. I don't know any law pertaining to this, maybe false advertising, but fitness influencers should definitely be interested in following the outcome. Upon information and belief during the class period, defendants generated revenue in excess of $100 million.
Damn.
This likely would be sealed in discovery, but I'd love to see the financial statements of Liver King's companies and the delta between his pre-social media push and today. I'd love to know how much money his brand helped generate for his supplement line. As a result of defendants' unlawful deceptive acts and practices, plaintiff Altamir and class members have suffered substantial damages. I'm curious to see what kind of damages they present to the courts because I haven't seen any yet. And if you eat raw meat and get sick, I kind of feel like that's on you. Just like if you watch a movie that glorifies the profits from committing fraud or robbing a bank, you can't do the same thing and then sue the movie production company and say, oh, I didn't know this was fraud. It wasn't explicitly stated in the movie. Liver King and his companies are being sued for $100 million, $25 million for each of the 4 claims.
It's just like a little bit of marketing associated with it. Like you're making it more fun for people to follow along. But like, yeah, you're saying don't be sedentary, move around.
I wasn't able to find any exhibits attached to this case. I'll be fascinated to see what type of proof the plaintiffs produce in discovery for their claims that millions of people experience severe health issues after watching Liver King on social media.
Now, this is what I do.
Yeah.
Right? The only time I take ancestral supplements, liver and bone marrow and beef organs is when I'm traveling. Otherwise, I got Liver King Chef Lionel and Liver Queen and Liver Boys and we're eating this every single day, just like this.
Liver King never really promoted his supplements as having powerful effects. He promoted the idea of eating liver and animal organs that would provide all the essential vitamins and minerals for a healthy diet. And if you weren't able to get all of your vitamins, then you could take his supplements. That sounds no different than any other sales pitch about a vitamin supplement. My real opinion is this. I think if a sales pitch includes specific claims and those claims aren't met, you have false advertising and the brand should be punished accordingly. I also think that consumers need to bear responsibility for what they put in their body. With health products or supplements, there absolutely needs to be major punishment if the products are bad, they don't contain what the label says they contain, or cause health problems. Absolutely, major penalties. But this lawsuit isn't about Liver King supplements. At no point is there mention of the supplements causing damages or problems to the plaintiff. Plaintiff claims...
That's fair. I guess the ancestral tenets are also free, right? Well, okay. I mean, it makes sense. It's like one of those things where I don't have a super strong opinion on it. I thought it was shitty that he lied to people, but at the same time, it's also so shitty how normalized that lying is in the fitness community. It's so fucking bizarre, you know? Well, that's probably the bigger problem than anything else. You know, we're always talking about fat people, like, you know, eating poorly and shit and like doing bad things that are unhealthy. But like, I feel like we don't talk enough about like young people who are like they get addicted to like, you know, shit. Like it's good to work on your body, but then they get shown people who are on fucking gear and they lie about it. And then they like, you know, they develop a frustration with not being able to look like their favorite influencer who they say they're natty. So why am I not look like this? Oh, I don't know. I feel like it fucks people up in a different way.
Claims he was influenced into buying supplements because Liver King lied about being on steroids. The plaintiff thought he could obtain Liver King's health by eating raw meat, and because he couldn't adhere to that type of diet, he went to a store and bought the supplements. This is an absolutely fascinating case to me because of how relevant this seems to be for all of the fitness influencers who claim to be natty while selling supplements. If Liver King were to lose this lawsuit in court, I think you could copy-paste these claims to every fitness influencer who's lied about their natural status in order to sell supplements. Thanks for watching.
All right, cool. Good video.
I want Papa Gut to pee on my face, but just as a friend. There's nothing weird about that. I want him to pee on my face.